So we know that women control the bulk of purchasing power in the US. They are the chief decision maker in their household about where the money is spent.
The largest emerging economy in the world right now is women, and I think that what's happening now in tech is pretty interesting. You've got like tech has become much broader based, so it's actually permeating all parts of the GDP, which means that a lot of the opportunities that we're seeing reflect a diverse background. When you think about the people that are out there trying to use technology and innovation to solve big problems, you're going to see a much more diverse set of founders and entrepreneurs.
We're also seeing much more integration of women leaders into these roles in big companies as well as small companies, and that's also helping to drive more innovation.
So as venture capitalists, we have to look at where entrepreneurial ideas are coming from, and they often come from people who are experiencing these problems directly.
So I had 4 national parks posters that I took to a local frame store, and I had a really unpleasant upselling experience there. And I walked away thinking, I'll never do that again. So Framebridge is the easiest way to custom frame the things you love. We offer true custom framing at half the price and half the time. I knew people had things that they loved, that they wanted to surround themselves with, and we knew we could make the market larger if we made it easier and more affordable. This is really driven by social media. People are inspired by home decor, and they want to get that look quickly, and they want to refresh the look. And so the way in which custom framing was delivered to people in the past made it seem so intimidating that it was a lifetime commitment. With Framebridge, we see people framing items, our average customer is framing 4 or 5 items a year. Well, the industry didn't see that in a decade. We are the only people who centrally, end-to-end, custom frame people's things in one place.
So that's a very complicated business. It's not just, putting up a website and creating a great brand and creating a great experience. It's actually creating a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility where they are churning out more framed art than any other facility in the country.
We framed hundreds of thousands of pieces. We know what people frame, we know what's important to them, we know what designs they like, and so our product roadmap is so exciting. The bigger of a success of a company we build, the more people will have the pattern in their mind of someone who looks like me, who built a very large business.
So I think direct-to-consumer is here to stay. I think we feel like when you take a step back, there's a math component to it, which is that you're collapsing the supply chain and taking a lot of margin out. All that margin can be reinvested in both product and the customer.
Mellon is a new luxury company. The way we make the shoes are in the same way, but the business model is totally different.
Tamara actually came from a background in the analog world and really kind of took a step back and said, how do we learn what we've done in the analog world, creating $1 billion company, and turn everything on its head?
So when I sold Jimmy Choo, I really thought about where the industry was going and the digital revolution that was going to eat the fashion industry because it's built on a really antiquated system. And the customer was so far ahead of the industry in the way she wanted to communicate with a luxury brand, the way she wanted to shop.
Gone are the days of, I think, going to a mall to discover a new brand or flipping through a magazine to discover a new brand. The consumer is on Instagram, Facebook, and that's where they're discovering new brands.
So we can go from design to being on sale on our website in 3 months, which one gives us a competitive edge, helps us adapt to what the customer wants and get the right thing out at the right time. So we're really thinking about innovative ways that we can really kind of please and delight our customer.
You need to have the sort of, right instincts around brand and luxury, but you have to sort of reimagine a lot of how you're bringing it to market, that experience and that brand.
With Tamara, you got not only a direct relationship with the customer, but you can super serve them in a very different way than she was able to do in the analog world with just retail stores. There are huge technology and data applications behind the scenes of these companies. We can actually understand what the consumer is looking for, not just what they're buying.
Moda Operandi is it's a high-tech, high-touch fashion luxury e-commerce portal. What we do is we enable women to shop the runways directly from Fashion Week in New York, London, Milan, Paris.
Neiman Marcus, right, or any of these department stores, they buy based on what they think people want. So Moda actually, puts up a trunk show and gets immediate data, like real data on what like colors and styles and sizes people are really both interested in and actually transacting.
We can see if a woman is discovering new designers, if every season she's opening up herself to new designers. But then we also have the woman who every October buys a flat boot and a blue pea coat, and we know that too. So whether she is looking for exciting new product or she just wants to be served the same product year after year, we can really adapt to her. And I think that a lot of the old sort of heritage brands and big department stores have seen a lot of change and a lot of upset. And one thing that's been exciting for us is that, as the shift goes to e-commerce, we don't see any sign of slowing down.
Big chains and brands historically didn't really know, who was buying what. They don't know their customer. In this case, all these companies know their customer really, really well.
Goop is a digitally native, direct-to-consumer, for the most part, lifestyle brand. We are really conscious of trying to create something of incredible quality and not 6xing the price of it, delivering that value to our readers and our shoppers whom we respect and who we believe deserve fantastic product.
Gwyneth came up with a really innovative idea around contextual commerce, which I think puts on its head both the big e-commerce world and content and merges them.
Well, contextual commerce, which is what we started calling it a few years ago, is really the cornerstone of the whole business. So it's really about the why. Why should I buy this? Why should I invest in it? Why is it important? Our first eponymous product was skincare. And I looked around and I saw, $400 and $500 bottles of face cream that were actually filled with pretty toxic ingredients. And I really felt like, women deserved an incredible line of skincare with amazing efficacy that was clean, that wasn't going to disrupt their endocrine system, that wasn't going to be full of plastics and the surprising things that are in these very fancy creams. And so really that was sort of the birth of the idea of our model of direct-to-consumer, which was, is there a version that's slightly more aspirational? So is there a version where you're creating something really high value and very luxurious, but offering it at a direct-to-consumer price? The correlation between quality and price that we're able to offer. And so while our price point isn't the cheapest on the internet, I think when you look kind of in the more luxury sector at designer things, we offer incredible value.
What Goop and Moda and Tamara Mellon represent is actually this next generation of kind of consumer internet companies. They have different variations of their model, but ultimately they have direct relations with the customer.
A huge opportunity is being built with direct-to-consumer healthcare technologies that allow patients not only to learn about their diseases and problems, but also find ways of solving it. No one is more impacted with food allergies than the parents of children with food allergies, and that responsibility of managing that kid's disease usually falls on the mom.
Dots Technology Corp. is a company creating a consumer product to detect for food allergens in food prior to consumption. The company was founded when I learned the hard way about food allergies. I had a daughter who had a severe food allergy. She accidentally ingested an allergen, sent us to the hospital, and we were left on our own to figure out going forward how to manage it. It was a constant problem and one that I just wished I had something where I could just tell before she was going to eat the food, is there a presence of an allergen there or not? I looked at industry, didn't believe technologies that were being utilized in industry could really solve the way we needed to, something portable, something easy to use, something that would fit in mom's bag, my bag. Adee had been working, she's a molecular biologist, she'd been working on creating these synthetic molecules that were going after oncolytic cells. Oncolytic cells are proteins. Food allergens are proteins, and one thing led to another, and we realized we were onto something. And we want to build a company that is a go-to place for people who have any of these issues to come to, trust, get their answers, and feel better. That's what we're building this company for.
Yeah, the opportunity afforded by direct-to-consumer healthcare is really to allow people to feel more empowered about making their decisions.
So Willow is the world's first all-in-one wearable breast pump that fits inside your bra. The feedback from Willow has been super fantastic, and the moms who've used it have told us that it's just been life-changing for them.
What Willow is doing is really transforming that technology into something that's portable, quiet, concealable, allowing women to pump anywhere and do anything.
We haven't just reinvented the breast pump, we've literally reimagined it.
For me, and I've been involved in creating multiple medical technologies over my career, and the exciting thing about Willow is that I really feel like it's the most important medical technology I've ever had the privilege to be an inventor on and a founder of. Everybody gets born. And that's the exciting thing about Willow, is that we really have an opportunity to touch pretty much everybody's lives from here on.
Willow has really completely captured the imagination of the world. You know, to me, it shows there's a huge need in women's health and a real intensity of interest in how do you develop products that really put the woman first, in our case, put the mom first. Willow is a connected device where the pump information is fed automatically to the mom on her phone. I think, you know, in today's world, especially for millennial mom who's really born with a cell phone in her hand, smart is really table stakes. You know, as we provided coaching services and other benefits to moms, they've started to say to us, what else do you have for me? And so we're really in the process right now of developing Willow out as a total platform.
You know, there was an interesting article that was part of the inspiration for Willow that appeared in the New York Times. A woman wrote about, you know, here I am at the CES, the Consumer Electronics meeting, and I am attached to this god-awful, noisy machine sitting in a men's bathroom pumping. How come we've got all these great technologies out there on the floor and nobody's paid attention to this? It was an excellent point. There are opportunities like this that have been glaring for so many years and people have not paid attention. But that's what some of the change that we're experiencing right now culturally, with more of a focus on women and more of a focus on women's issues, is bringing.
I come to the table looking for great investment opportunities, and I'm really proud of the companies and the people. You know, I don't look at the CEOs as sort of female founders. I look at them as, you know, founders that have come up with really great ideas.
So it's our job as venture capitalists to find patterns in businesses that we've backed before and extrapolate those to help support businesses that we're investing in today. However, if we're too tightly bound to how things have worked in the past, we miss opportunities to back the greatest entrepreneurs of tomorrow.
The fact that half of my companies are led by women is not a reflection of an intent specifically to hire and or recruit women to those roles. I'm just betting on the best people and the best entrepreneurs, and it just so happens that they are women.